guys, it's Danny, and today I thought I would start off my channel with a quick Meet the Booktuber tag, just so y'all can know a little bit about me and know me as I start doing my Bookstagram videos, like who I am, my favorite books, and why this channel is called Danny B Writing instead of like Danny B Books or Danny B Bookish or Danny something that has to do with books. I'm not a name generator, but so I thought it'd just be a little video to get you to know me, and this is a really long intro, so let's just jump right into it. So we're gonna start with my favorite books. So my favorite books. So normally I try and have just a top 3. I don't want like a top 10 or a top 5 because I feel like that's a bit too much. But recently 2 different series have been fighting for that third spot on my favorite books list, so I'm going to list the 2 that are currently fighting in my brain for that last list. So this is more of a top 5, but it should be a top 3. So the first series that's fighting for my attention is the Alex and Eliza series by Melissa De La Cruz. These 3 books it's a trilogy about, if you haven't guessed it already, Alex and Eliza Hamilton. It is their love story inspired by the play Hamilton, and it's quite good. I really loved this the first go around. I loved the first one, loved the second one, loved the third one. I recently, maybe 5 months ago, I know that's not that recent, but in quarantine I did a reread, and it didn't do the same thing for me as it did the first time. I mean, this book kept the same, 5 out of 5 stars. This book, 4.5. I liked it just the teeniest bit less, but still as good as the first one. And it's this one that is the deal breaker for me because of some events that happened in the Hamiltons' lives that may or may not be good. If you're a Hamilton fan, you know what I mean. And second, I don't like some of the choices she made with Eliza's character and some other characters. So this was maybe 3.5 stars. So this is the reason, this book is the sole reason why it is fighting, why it is not on the third spot. And this, in combined with this other duology that I'm about to show you right now. The American Royals duology by Katharine McGee. These 2 books are absolutely amazing. They are a duology, kind of an alternate America if America had a monarchy. So it is the present day in America's monarchy, and it goes through the royal family, some of the royal family's friends who are not royal, and it's a lot of political intrigue and romance and scheming, and they are so good. So they are currently fighting with this with the Alex and Eliza trilogy for that third spot. Majesty just came out and it shocked me to the core, but I still love this duology so much. Moving on to my second favorite book, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. One fact about me is that I read a lot of classics. Like, I've read some Jane Austen, I read classics like this. None others spring to mind, but I do read a lot of classics. So when I read this, it had been on my TBR for a while when I bought this, and it blew me away. Like, I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. It is very small. It is 280 pages, but it packs a punch in those pages. And it actually took me longer to read than normal 280 pages would because I wanted to fully absorb the writing, because it is, you know, written in the 1920s. It has that kind of classic writing style. But the characters in this, just amazing. So if you don't know the story, it is through the perspective of Nick Carraway, who has moved in next to his eccentric neighbor Jay Gatsby, who he kind of befriends and follows on through his crazy life and through his, you know, backstory involving a woman named Daisy who is friends with Nick also, and it's just a lot of fun and it's just amazing. Like, I loved this. It shook me. I was crying. I was laughing. It was just beautiful. And the last book, my number 1 favorite book, is a chunker. It is Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell, and this is amazing. Like, I I'm not really fully sure how to describe it because it's just so much. Like, it's okay, so basically the plot follows Scarlett O'Hara in Georgia during the Civil War, and it's beautiful, it's tragic, it's funny, it's just so I was thinking about this book for months after I finished it. The ending was just so shocking and so amazing. I literally cannot. But yes, this is my favorite book of all time. It is so big. It is 939 pages. It took me a month to read it. I was lugging it around like a freaking brick until I finished it, and then I was like, what am I supposed to do now? This story has like taken over my life. This is the only thing I can think about anymore, but I have moved on from that, thankfully, and here I am, and I love this so much. So if I have one book to recommend to you people, it's this. So those are my favorite books. So some more about me. The reason why this channel is called Danny B Writing is because I am a writer. I want to write books as a career, and I recently finished my first draft of my novel. Round of applause, maybe. Anyway, so I finished my first draft of my novel, and that is on my Instagram, link in the bio at Danny B Writing. This first draft is called Tides Will Rise. It is a historical fiction YA novel that takes place in Galveston during the 1900 storm, which is to this day, the worst natural disaster to ever hit the United States. And the reason why I chose this topic was because I live near Galveston. I have always loved Galveston. We go so often, and I love that period in time. I wanted to write about such a catastrophic event, so I chose that, and here I am right now with a nice first draft and some nice characters that I won't say because spoilers, even though I don't know if I mentioned them on live or anything on Instagram, but anyway, I should be keeping track of that either way. So if you want to see more details about that, go to the Insta in the bio. Other random facts about me: I am 15, I live in Texas, and I love books. I've always loved books. That's one reason I want to be a writer, so that I can write books and just contribute to the great art that is literature. And that's just been my goal for years and years, that I've always wanted to write, and I finally did finish a first draft, and that is so amazing to me, and I am very anxious to see where it goes. So a common question that I get, and I feel like a bunch of other booktubers and bookstagrammers get, is why do you love reading? I love reading because reading can transport you anywhere and everywhere, whether it's a real place, whether it's fictional. You can go back in time, you can go forward in time, while never leaving the comfort of your home, and you can be inspired. Your books can literally change your life. Books can inspire you, books can lift you out of tough times, you can relate to characters, you can see yourself in characters, and it's just this art of creating a whole new world and all these fictional people who real people love and relate to and can see themselves in, and I love that you get to experience what was once in an author's mind and now is everywhere and anywhere. On that same note, I want to address what I love to write. And it's similar. It's kind of like I had this idea in my mind. I have these characters who are pretty much pieces of me, like I'll just say my main 5 characters are Rosalind, Friedrich, Theodore, Samantha, and James, and all 5 of them are pieces of me. They're just little pieces of my heart and soul that I've created and I've poured my love into. They're just my own creations. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I just love that I can take them and I can take this beautiful setting and all these happenings, like, the storm and what happens in the characters' lives, and I can put that on paper, and other people can read them, and other people can just see all the love and all the emotion that I've poured into these characters who I have created and built from when they were nothing to when they were full-fledged people that could be, I don't know, made into like a movie or something. And I also like to write because I feel like we, you know, not necessarily idolize, but like we look up to all these authors who have gone down in history because books are timeless. I was thinking the other day, like, kind of now these days I feel like everything is so kind of disposable. Like, this is my own little philosophy tidbits with Danielle, but it's kind of like there's no timeless things anymore. It's kind of like there's this kind of mentality of like you can get a new one when it breaks. It's like an inevitability that something is going to leave. It's something that's not going to work anymore. And then you're just going to get a new one. It's just kind of this disposable mindset. And the first thing that came to my mind was books are not disposable. Books are made, when you buy a book, it's kind of made to last a lifetime. Like the physical book itself is made to last multiple lifetimes. Like they talk about, you know, books that are still around today that haven't completely decomposed, that are from 1600s. And then the story itself can be reprinted and reproduced so many times. Like Jane Austen and Agatha Christie are just so timeless and classic. And it's just so crazy how if you put something out there, people could be reading it hundreds of years from now. And that, I feel like, is one of the best ways to leave your mark on history. Because everyone knows who Jane Austen is. Everyone knows who Agatha Christie is. Even authors like Cassandra Clare. A lot of people recognize the name Cassandra Clare. It's just insane how you can take something that was inside you and put it out for the whole world for all of eternity. So that's it for psychological tidbits with me. That's the end of philosophy with Danielle. And I think I'm going to end this here. Just thank you so much for watching. I am so excited about this channel. I am so excited to see what comes around, what people I meet, this great community on Booktube and on Bookstagram. So best way, if you want to join the party, you can subscribe down below. You can follow my Instagram to get updates and keep watching my videos, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye guys.